all the time. Even if it's once or twice, it sticks in the minds of the viewer. But once it's overdone, it becomes counterproductive. So it's very important that everyone sitting in this hall, you can really make the money for your project before you start. Some of you will think, but I'm too small, I'm just an unknown filmmaker. You don't need to be known for your film to make a hit. You need to think and deeper and more creatively. Your film always will find its space if it's well done.
Thank you.
And so production. I have always thought that the producer takes the biggest risk the moment it starts rolling. And I find that I keep thinking of how else and what can we do to reduce the risk of the producer so that that risk is shared by every other person that participates. My mind is that if production is properly planned and you start producing, you can actually make money, in my mind, because that is when you are intensely spending. I am only imagining that you can make money from saving time, managing resources more efficiently, and ensuring that if you had planned out 15-day shoots, you can save more days. There you make money. I do not know any other way to suggest, but I'd like to rely on Stephen. What can we do to make money during production?
Yeah, very well, Steve. Let's get your perspective. At the production stage, where is the money?
Well, for me, production stage is all about filming. It's all about gathering pictures and sound. That's the core production proper. Everything that has to do with making of the money most times should happen at the pre-production stage. However, when you finish your shoot during the marketing, if there are new vistas of opportunity, you can also take advantage of that. But I said this, production is such a serious business that once you start rolling your camera, you don't have time. In fact, God help you to have time for even family matters, because all you are thinking is how that production will come out well. But you are expected to have taken care of so many things, including what if it start raining when we are doing exteriors? You have taken care of that at your pre-production stage because you have a plan B that you can come in and shoot montages without the pictures without sound. You don't need sound for. So you come in and do that. You always have all those backup so that to save time, especially when it's raining season. So for me, I will tell you, I don't know of any opportunity during, even the food they are eating, if it's sponsored, you've taken care of that at the pre-production stage. The water they are drinking during production, if it's sponsored, you've taken care of that. Not during production, you are running about to say, come and sponsor this when the shoot is already going on. That's my candid opinion. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Osezua, for that perspective. I'll hand it over to Mr. Chief Emeka Ike now to get your perspective. Just like Steve said, most of these things at the production stage level, where the shooting, where you roll camera, most of the things should have been taken care of at the pre-production stage. And he mentioned some of them, catering, and all of that. I can only add to that, what about equipment? Your cameras, and your everything, your equipment. That's where partnership that Emeka Ike talked about. If you want to use, you can decide to use everything about your camera and it's Canon. You reach out to Canon. They will give you 50%, 40%, 30%. You save some money there. You understand? What about the cars you are using? And all of that. So all this comes into, because these are things you are using at production stage. You must have it in mind as a producer that at the level of pre-production, you must have taken care of all these things. And you must have signed all the deals, all the partnerships you want in these various departments. from props to catering to equipment to hotels. Your cast and crew will stay in hotels. You must have had an arrangement, a partnership with a particular hotel, whereby maybe they give you fantastic rebates and all of that. So it's just for us as producers to begin to open our eyes and mind to these possibilities, so that if you have a budget of 50 million to shoot a film, at the end of the day, if you do your proper due diligence, you'll find out that you have cut out maybe up to 30 million. It's very possible, it's doable. We should just be aware. Let me go to Otumba first before I'll come back to High Chief Jagumolu. No, let me come to Emeka Ike. No, Emeka Ike. No, you go.
Okay, thank you very
I like Jagumolu to always come last. Tori Egunla ni kẹ́yìn ìgbàlẹ̀.
All right, we need to manage our productions adequately. The times we waste on sets are ways to save money. The times the artists make up, the times they use the ladies' makeup also affect production. Ladies, hello, are you in the house? Ladies, we go wait for Nataya. Na person money they born. So the time the artists arrive on location, the production manager's ability to coerce everybody into a working environment. That's where Papa comes in again. We must be professionalized enough or professionals enough to know what is at what time and should be at what time. These ways we can save a whole lot of monies. We waste on spending extra days on set. That will lead to extra camera money. That will lead to extra props money, because the car you've paid for 2 days, you have to take it for another third day. And a whole lot, artists will begin to demand more. So production management make money in production. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Alex. You see, just like Steven said, even if as a producer you are not thinking about making money during production, there is one man who thinks about money when you are producing. And his own money is not going to come in. He's praying hard that you should not bring your problem to make money go out of his account again. And that is the executive producer. Just that hello. I also always go into prayers, beginning from the first day. You know, production is like when you are digging a well. It is only that man that is right inside it that knows the depth he has captured. When you are pre-planning, you have written, my artist A will take this, my costumier will take this, we are going to use this to buy props, we are going to use location A, location B, location Y. What happens if we get to location Y and the man and the woman had a clash yesterday? And out of annoyance, the man locked his gate and went to work. What? You got to look for another place. And the executive producer is in trouble because he has to look for money at the end of the day to cover for that mistake. So when producers are working with all the agility, there is one man that's always thinking about money when you are producing, and that is the EP. Thank you.
Right. In as much as I agree with you, High Chief, you know, in Nigeria, the producer in Nigeria, particularly the independent producer, most of them, they wear double hats. They are also the executive producer, most in this industry, and that's the model. You know, yes, we know there are executive producers, particularly the distributors, marketers, who commission producers. We're aware of that, but most, like, I have never been commissioned in all the jobs I've done. You know, so just to make the point that there is, in Nollywood, most producers also wear the cap of the executive producer because they source for the funds of their production by themselves. And that's why most producers own the copyright of their production. Alaji, let's get your perspective, please.
Yes, when you're talking of production stage, you're talking at a stage whereby you control the cost of production. And the best way to control the cost of production is to ensure that whoever you commission to work in any of the production departments knows the job. Because if you follow sentiment to give people that do not deserve a position, you will pick up the cost at this level of production. Because if he doesn't know how to do it well, one, the possibility of him wasting your time and everybody's time exists. Secondly, the probability of getting somebody else to do the job exists. And these are additional expenses that, as High Chief says, no executive producer will be welcoming such a development at this stage. Therefore, the best way to avoid losing money is to ensure that your crew are truly the people that can be able to deliver so that you can be able to do things efficiently. Because efficiency is the key here. And that's my take.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Alaji, for that perspective. Let's quickly move to the another stage, which is the last but one stage of production, which is post-production. Most producers will say, what can you do? Post-production is largely takes place inside the studio now. Steve, from your experience, is there anything that we can grab here as producers that we can just grab to cut down the budget?
Okay, I want to give it to Steve.
Yeah, there are also opportunities there, and because like Chief Coach said, as a producer, your eyes is out there, you are looking for opportunities. So we're still talking about brand integration. It's possible at post-production stage because they have technologies now that if you say, oh, you are doing this, how come you didn't come with that proposal for us? This is the theme of our brand for the next few years, and it tallies with what you are doing. You can tell them it's not too late. Yes, we finish shooting. You can implant, as it were, some brands. Like, let's say we saw the Zuma this thing everywhere in Abuja on billboard. You can actually put a brand on the billboard at post-production stage. You can implant a brand, superimpose it there, and it will sync and look as if they shot the thing with the movie. So that's one opportunity. So if you see such opportunity, you leverage on it, despite all you have done. Even before you get to the marketing and distribution stage, you can still take in something at that level. Thank you.
All right. Just to say, because I noticed that I had a challenge when I did brand integration. When I was about to resell that material, I discovered that I was getting lower offers. They were saying that there's a lot of advertising already integrated, and they do not have a contract to carry forward this advertising with this brand. And so they were offering me something very little. So when I went back to do another project, I made sure that every scene I shot 2 versions. And so remember that. I shot 2 versions so that your effort at getting the money at pre-production will not jeopardize your chances in distribution. So remember that. So it's very important. I shot some of the scenes again, took out the brand, and shot clean. So I had that for my markets that were sensitive to brand integration. We just spoke about the monetary. We are looking at the producer's money right from pre-production. We are tracing his money. He is the spender. He is the person that is the risk taker. So every money is important to So just as we have just said, in post-production, which is to me production, because a lot of things that you are going to be doing at post-production, what can only happen is efficiency of managing your editing time and all the post-production, your travels. For example, it's important that you do your tracks in your soundtracks for international version. A lot of producers in Nigeria do not prepare for other languages, and so we should mix down our sound, and it's very difficult to change an English language movie or change it to Hausa language. In Nigeria alone, you can change one language into several languages if you do that planning at post-production, or right from location onto post-production, so that the international soundtracks are ready. You can dub your one film into several languages, and you would have been making money from pre-production if you plan ahead of time. So that remember that in your planning, a lot of the telenovelas, I used to import telenovelas into Nigeria. A lot of them were shot in original Latino language and dubbed into English, French, Arabic, and Mandarin languages. One film making money from different languages. And that can happen at post-production. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Now we move to the next stage. We have dealt with the key aspects of, filmmaking itself, which is the pre-production, production, and post-production. Now the content is ready. You have it. You have it in your drive. You are ready. What are the, beyond, outside the, what we know, exhibition, cinemas, you understand, online, VOD, and all of that. Osezua will speak more on that. That's his area of expertise. Beyond that, cinemas and all of that, must every film go to cinemas? Is DVD dead? Is DVD market dead? With a population of over 200 million people in Nigeria. Is DVD not supposed to be the main market for a country like Nigeria with the advantage of population? Is DVD market dead? What are the money trail at this stage of distribution and marketing? I would like to start with High Chief Ainokushoro, because he's a marketer and he's an investor, so let him share with us.
Thank you. Don't mind, I would like to stand up. I enjoy talking while on my feet. Well, DVD, is the market dead? That's a 1,000,000% question. Several years back, when I introduced DVD into this business with only 25 copies, I did 25. The next release, Corporate Pictures did 40. Your people were not doing DVD yet. They never believed it was going to knock out VHS.
Who are my people now?
Emeka, you understand what I mean? The Yorubas, we started DVD market in the business. I did 25. And later, we were doing 50,000. We were doing 100,000. And now it's down, nosediving. It's an emergence of technology. Before, for those of you who, no, not even those as old as myself, people who were shooting on, what do you call it? Something cam. DV cam, not DV cam. Better cam. When people like Zebulon Ejiro and the gray white man, they will come from NTA with better cam. We were looking at them. On Panasonic, with VHS. Later we started shooting with super VHS. So, Theo, we were shooting on super VHS, and the picture was beautiful. Nobody ever believed we could shoot on such things. But at the time, it had to go. But believe me sincerely, the mistake that Nigerians are making is the fact that you think it is the educated, the enlightened that are watching our movies. Those who watch our movies most are those in the hinterland. So the DVD market should be a standard market that should not be killed by our ineptitude to business or film business. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Let me go to Steve. Let me go to Steve first.
Before Steve will come.
Oh, you want to go? Okay,
Yeah, no,
you
I'm
just
not
go.
going to go. I just want
No,
to
just-
say.
it's your turn.
I had your.
Just take your turn.
Let me just take my. I had the conversation with.
And I want you to,
I had-
because I don't know, just before you take off, because I'm aware that you took a bold step at a time, try to go into the DVD national distribution. What was your experience like?
Thank you. Thank you. I think I had this conversation I had it with High Chief. He made a statement that touched me. I asked him what is happening to VCD. I think it's VCD they are doing now, not DVD. DVD, VCD. He said things are down, but they have refused to let it die. That the industry is springing forth upon the DVD distribution, and that they are holding it down. I was quite impressed. However, I attempted to launch an online, digitally supported DVD distribution, and we came up with DVD Excite, and we went on massive campaign around different states in Nasarawa. People called in to buy our DVDs. Unfortunately, when we delivered DVDs to some, we were partnering with NIPOST. Some of the DVDs took longer than necessary to arrive destination. Some, the owners didn't know that it was DVD that was delivered. And so we had challenges. Aside from that, we discovered also that the DVD market is on its way out. You know, we are quick at discarding technology. We move to the new one as a people. We are just in a hurry into a destination that we cannot really afford. You know, so it's DVD still sells in the US, but Nigerians say it's gone. Everyone has packed up his DVD player. And so it affected our project, and unfortunately we shut down. And so that is about DVD distribution. And so that's my response on DVD.
Okay, Osezua, just waiting on the DVD market, whether it's dead or still alive or not. Then let's look at, theatrical distribution, cinemas, online. How are we doing there? What's there for producers? All these figures we hear announced by exhibitors, that's cinema owners. How much really gets to the producer at the end of the day?
Okay, thank you. DVD, I would say, is dead and is alive, depending on what region. I was discussing with Papel, the producer of Eagle Wing. He got a global distribution rights. And one of the things they're actually selling more in North America is DVD. But in Nigeria, because, I don't know, because of our orientation and the kind of people we are, we like to go in for the latest. And if you don't consider that, you get your fingers burnt like Theo did. I remember telling him then that it's not the only one. Shola Fajobi made a huge investment into that, and with so many vehicles, this many buses to distribute everywhere. Today, I think, of course, he went out of that business and he opened a pub. That's what he runs now. So we have to understand each country, each region, they have their own peculiarities. However, In the case of Nigeria, I think one thing that actually partially killed or partly killed the DVD in Nigeria is all these cheaper form of pay TV, Star Times and all those things. Whatever you want to show, you want to sell, they are showing it free, so to speak. They just pay some little thing, then maybe 1,000 something for monthly subscription. How many CD will you buy for that? So, and they watch 24 hours this movie. So that's what originally killed DVD in Nigeria. That is, I can pinpoint it. That was what killed DVD. Because with 1,000 something then, you can watch 24 hours different movie. Why do you want to go and buy one for 300 naira? It doesn't make any economic sense. And this idea of Jackie and all that, you don't have it there. So for good, I think we have moved. And the earlier we accept that, the better. Because move around now, see where they are selling electronics. See if you can get DVD or VCD player to buy. So that's the thing. So we must accept that, if I may call it sad reality, we must accept the reality and move on to something else. Have you considered a situation, you're talking about numbers? If Chief, for instance, like recently they released King of Thieves, and for like a month or so, you start advertising that for global premiere everywhere based on time. The North America, you give them time. The East Africa, you give time. In Nigeria, and you bicycle the thing as it were. Streaming is not the type you download. You encode it well. So people buy tickets for that thing that you have been promoting online around the world. Can you imagine what you make? We need to open our arms to these new realities. That's my point, and that's what I've been saying. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Before I'll come back to Alaji and Emeka, let's just, he has something to...
Hello. Yeah, Steve, I appreciate all you said, but let me quickly point something at you. VCD still sells. Let me give you an instance. I will tell you 10 titles in the last 1 year. When you release them as full movie, we release movies at 180. You may succeed in selling 7,000. There is something we call Porter. You know what they call that? You know what they call Boss Corner? Akube. Bring down the price. 2 months, the price comes down to 100 naira. Do you know you can print 115,000 of that product that did not do more than 7,000? Where are they played? Are they played in the television? Are they played with the batteries? They are played with video CDs. The video CDs are still available. It is stupidity, ego that has killed Nigerians. You want to rush beyond the technology that is just coming in. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, let Alaji go. Alaji, maybe because we've not, dwelled, yes, because of our population, we believe that DVD should be one of our major markets. Because I know of a fact, and as a research student, only less than 10% of films made in Hollywood make the cinemas. The others are straight to DVDs, online platforms, and the rest of them. Less than 10%, this is a statement of fact, of films made in Hollywood make the cinema. Because they have the population. So they're doing well. The DVD market there is doing well. Why can't our own DVD market do well? Is it piracy?
It's an irony. Why do I say it's an irony? I served in Vision 2020 and under the thematic area of media and communications. This was 2009. What we were doing was envisioning for this country to be one of the top countries of the world by 2020. But the news came to us that Nigeria had attained the 3rd position of the largest producer of movies in the world. And it was a United Nations survey that came out with that figure, that positioning, and we were celebrating. Meanwhile, what is the message of this? The message of this is, when you look at the cinema culture in the West, the distribution form starts from when you make your movie, you take it straight to the theaters. It is after showing at the theaters that you move on to other forms of distributions. But Nigeria, Nollywood, changed the paradigm without us even realizing it. We changed the paradigm because we were producing films and straight they go onto home videos. Not any nation in the world did that. But Nigeria did it. So if we have made a paradigm shift of making our own films and sending it straight to the consumer, why is it a challenge now we are debating on whether we should go DVD or not? That is why it's an irony. So I want us to reflect on the fact that we have taught the world how to make distribution, a brand new form of distribution. And we have taught the world in Berlin International Film Festival, a 2-week event, they dedicated a day to teach people of the West how to make films in 2 weeks. Not anywhere in the world this happens, but in Nollywood, it does happen. And our stories are resonating everywhere. So this is the irony of it all. I think we need to have a rethink.
Yeah, Chief Emeka.
I want to thank you, Alhaji Kushoro. You really hit the nail on the head. The policymakers in Nollywood gave in too soon. When satellite medium of communication or watching movies came up, we, the industry, we did not create new ways to sustain our products. We were all rushing to them with our products. We were so cheap and hungry. And in the process, we lost the industry. Now, if you allowed the CD to stay, the GDP will be rising the way it was rising that year. I am an export product. Any week, ask Alhaji Kushoro, my movie comes out in the market. Container loads are ready to leave Nigeria to other countries. Now, we played with that product. People still have CDs and DVDs. We need to go back and reinvent ourselves. We can't keep complaining because the TV operators are not going to give you any room. We don't really care about you anymore. Bring your contents to the TV owners. Yes, that's where you are. So how do we redesign ourselves to the beginning? How we started Nollywood. That product, giving up on CD, was our biggest mistake. And we must find a way to reconnect Nollywood back to an outlet aside the satellite channels. So if we can have these outlets, Cameroon is waiting, Tanzania are waiting, all the countries, they used to squat to watch our movies. He was the president of Nigerian Video Club Association before he became a marketer. I know that year. People squat to watch our movies. What happened to that? We gave in too soon. The politics was too dirty. The politics was too smearing. So we need to recreate, reinvent ourselves again with CD and DVD. Now, I also want to mention equipment availability and procurement should also be considered here. I'm coming back to government. You cannot put taxes on our production equipment because this is an industry that is building the youth and building the nation. The tariffs on our production equipment must be reduced so that we can have enough environment to do and explore the things we want to explore. You can't bring in a drone into this country. You have to write letters to some departments in the military and all that. All those things are limiting us. We need to also begin to learn to partner properly with the TV channels. So all this put together, we are going to be, you will see a new Nollywood. Because if you have CD players now, please bring them to my channel. We go back to Bata. Who knows about Bata? The days of Bata here. Just bring your film. We give you plenty slots. You know, only NTA did it. So we need to reinvent ourselves, kill the industry politics, and move towards CD. That is our first franchise. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Points well taken. You want to?
Okay, we're still tracing the money, really, the producer's money, the all important money that keeps everyone employed. But just that we have a lot of producers who have scattered the money all over the place. We need to talk about how the money of the producer comes back. He has been spending at pre-production. He was looking around for money. He got some merchandise, brand, and then he went to production where everyone an enemy to him, and came out and post-production successfully. Stephen, you need to teach us, because where can he find the money? If DVDs is a struggle, what are the options for this money to return back so that he can make another good movie or a better movie?
Thank you, Mr. Akatuba. I think let me just say something briefly about Emeka's position. The only permanent thing in life, they say, is change. And even within the industry, let's take an example of cameras producers. Those days, Ari and some, they were so carried away with the cine camera, analog cine camera we're using, and they said, no, cine cannot go anywhere. Like some people are saying, CD cannot go anywhere, and they are fighting for it seriously. Unfortunately, when Red and others came and took over the market, they are now playing the catch-up game. So that's what happened when you refuse to wake up to reality. The world is changing. Technology is changing. Videos today, people watch on demand. They want to see what they want to watch per time. You are still pushing for DVD in a country where there's no light. I don't know if you get my drift. And this is what we have been saying all through. Can you compare the clarity of what you see with CD and DVD with what you see through this digital medium? Of course, you can't even compare the picture. So I don't know why we have to wake up to reality. We cannot just keep saying we have to go back to 20 years ago, 30 years ago when Nollywood started. No, it doesn't work that way. Now, back to this. This morning, I don't know if you're around, we threw up some figures, including the numbers. Internet penetration, we put that for Africa. And we realized that from the records, not my record, from global data, that the penetration in Nigeria, by a mobile phone, for instance, in Africa, about 650 million. And we are saying America and Europe joined together, you have higher numbers. I know in Nigeria, mobile numbers is higher than most of all this Western world. What are we doing with it? We have about between 25 and 40 million smartphone users. Can't we take advantage of that? So we need to wake up and begin to look at the realities so that we can have that, we can move far. Even with all this thing we are doing, we can reach our core targets. Most of the movies we make in Nigeria, even if you are exporting it, is for Africans in diaspora. Most of an average white Caucasian will not say it's Nollywood I want to watch. So who are your target audience? You deploy analytics. Where are these people? What do they want to see? Because now, before you tell them what they want to watch, now they tell you, this is what I want to see. You see everybody with their mobile phones seated here. When they want to check, they go to what they want to see. That's the new orientation. That's the mentality. If you don't key into it, you'll be left behind permanently. Sad to say. So that is what we are saying, and God will help us. Thank you.
Thank you.
God has helped us.
Just a quick response.
Just pinch what he said, sir. It is only in Nigeria that we see a new product as updating ourselves. I want to tell you, in Italy, their best buildings are cased with the archival old structures that existed. In America, in all over the world, they still respect old cars. Old things are still valued. If you go to the Caribbean, they still use DVD. Apart from Nigeria, we're the ones that want to buy the latest camera, latest car, latest this. We're updating until we leave everything that is culturally sound behind. We keep updating, and we don't update anywhere. We are like flying. I can tell you in Cameroon, they still use DVD. I can tell you all over Africa, so many countries still use CDs and all that. Can we sit down as an industry and recreate ourselves? That's what I'm saying. Can we sit down and replan, recreate this CD industry? That was what made the storm. That was what changed the narrative. Now we are going cinema. We are not even sure of our cinema houses. How many producers make money from cinemas here? We need to reinvent ourselves on CD, and I stay on that, sir.
Thank you. His position is that we must look very critically at the DVD market. And like I said earlier, you know, and that's in response to Alaji, even in US, it is less than 10% of films made in Nollywood that goes to cinema. This is a fact. They are made for straight to DVD, about 90%. They don't even go online and all these things. Straight to DVD. And that is the almighty Hollywood. Only less than 10%. Then in Nigeria, Nollywood, I'm sure it's less than 5% of our films that makes the cinema. And yet you have producers all over. They make films every day. Asaba, Warri, everywhere, Lagos. Those films, ab initio, are not meant for the cinemas. Does that mean there is no other revenue streams behind outside cinemas? You understand? We hear the king of thieves. Just in 1 week, we hear the figure, about 170 million. How much of that figure will go to the pocket of the producer? How much? You understand? So let's as producers, let the conversation continue. And finally, I know you still want to respond. The final stage, before we come to the floor, the final stage of all this is publicity and advertising. You understand? That's the final stage. What can the producer grab at this level? Maybe basically partnership with the media partners and all of that. But because that's where too the exhibitors do their deductions from the films that goes to cinema. They will say they spend X amount, millions on publicity and advertising, and they will not allow you handle it yourself. So as producers, we need to be awake to these realities and find very creative means of, cutting these curves. You understand? Aishif.
Thank you, Alex. I'm happy that Stephen is here. We are comedians in Nigeria. Comedians. I will shoot a film. I shot a film some years back. I took it to, what's the name of that place? Very close to Central Bank. Old Central Bank on Ahmad Bello. That belongs to that senator. Silverboard, yes, thank you. one silver board in Amodibelo, one in Sabo, one in. It took them 11 months to preview my film. If I have taken a loan from Lagos State government, how do I pay back? I am happy again that Stephen is here. They frustrate us to the extent that each day I pray, I tell God, please do something about them. You know what they do? When they are frustrated, review your film for 1 year, they give you a date 6 months away from after the review session. They tell you 50, 50, 50 for advertising, 50 for. Come on. In those days, if I want to show movies at the National Theatre, Cultural Center Ibadan, Cultural Center, wherever, they will tell me we will give you 18 or 20% for. That is, whatever you make, 18% out of it will be for your advert. But now, they will tell you, they will take 60 and give you 40 because they want to help you advertise in heaven. Look, I tell you something. Agweshikol was the title, King of Thieves. No, it wasn't the advert done by the marketer, the man that is handling the exhibition, that sold it. The boy and his friends were like witches and wizards on the Instagram. Anybody, somebody that sold ordinary ata pepper in that film, ran nothing less than 20 takes on their Instagram pages. I never saw it on television. I never saw it in any newspaper. But they were like witches and wizards, and on YouTube, on Instagram and Facebook. And yet, the owner of the cinema houses, will take 60% of that sum. We were somewhere, I don't know whether it is Marriott Hotel or something hotel, about 8 months ago, and the owners of cinema halls were talking, and I feel like shooting all of you. You know what? They are the people that introduced the new and progressive new Nollywood. They turn every subsistence farmer, they want to force them into mechanized farming. It is not possible. That is the same thing with film business.
Thank you, Aishif. I know Aishif is hurting because he wears the shoes. He knows where. Let's move to the audience. Just very briefly, so that we can.
I see Chief
can give the
talking and looking at me. I hope you know I don't belong to the cinema because Emeka is also pointing. Before someone shoots me, I don't belong. In fact, I don't believe in it. I must tell you. And in addition, you pay some millions to them for publicity even before they remove that 60%. Yes, you do that. So for me, it is not my thing. I just say I should make you know that because it's like maybe you think I've taken over from Moses. I don't want to hear gunshot on.
Thank you. Thanks for the clarification. Let me just quickly say that Moses Babatokpe was as an exhibitor and distributor. He was supposed to be here to give us the perspective of exhibitors and distributors. But he's out of the country. I think he's coming back this night. And he sends his apology. Because he's the only one I could easily reach out with. He thought he would be able to come back before today. Otherwise, he would have given his perspective. And he would have protected Stephen Osezua, who quickly washed his hands off cinema owners.
I think also it is good we do not demonize a channel of distribution because we feel dissatisfied with what the revenue share formula. We must know that to put together a cinema facility, it might take them up to 10, 11 years to recoup their investment. And so that's another, it's the same challenge they have all over the world. It's not only in Nigeria that this sharing is controversial. The cinema owner has his facility. You might disagree, and that facility is a lot of money is invested that will take a long time to recoup. And so we must identify that as one channel in Nollywood distribution. No, that is another issue. They are not prohibited from producing. You are also not prohibited from owning your own cinema. So it's a fair.
Right,
just a minute. We have distribution channels in Nollywood. The cinema is one of it. Let us, so that, because our discussion today is the producer's money, the money trail, so that we remain focused on why we are sitting in this hall. When you have made your movie, going to the cinema is one opportunity. Do not, because of High Chief's anger and his dislike and disdain for his experience. We have 332 DCI compliant cinemas in Nigeria. They have only 12 months, 52 weeks, and they cannot take they cannot take more than 104 to 150 titles in a year. And so we must be fair to them, and they will want to take only the best that will bring more people to that cinema house. So I'm not speaking for them, but I'm saying that as producers, they are all useful to us. They will help us in bringing back the money. Okay?
Thank you. Absolutely. I don't believe any producer here is leaving this all with that impression, except maybe emerging producer. We all know, in fact, there are over 17 revenue streams for a film. Cinema is just one of them. DVD is just one of them. So we all know that. But which one, as at now, is giving us money in Nollywood? Is cinema giving the majority money? A majority of the films making the cinemas, and all of that. But that is not to undermine all the revenue streams. As a producer, if you can explore all, following it step by step, not putting not putting C before A, good for you. But it's good these revenue streams. And we have itemized some of them: online, video on demand, DVD, cinema, different things, products placement, pay TV, and all of that. These are all revenue streams. So as a producer, sneak preview, there are many, almost 20 revenue streams. But as a producer, it's your duty to identify these revenue streams so that you can explore them. At this point, we will go to the audience, and let's have their questions. And please, I will appeal because of time. Within the first session head into our time, and we are already eating into the time of the second session. Even though we are scheduled for 2 hours, we have not even used 1 hour 30 minutes. By my time, we started 12 o'clock, or after 12 or thereabout. But we'll round off now. So please make it questions, straight questions. Don't give us another lecture. Just ask your question, and then the panelists will answer. Come forward. Yes, please. Where is this? Please go. Come on, the person is around. Just go down. Just questions. We don't want comments. We don't want lectures.
Because
we don't
I
have
feel
time.
there are areas basically that could also be
Just
very
go
important.
ahead with your question.
Okay.
Okay. Speak
Hello.
to the mic. Just speak to the mic.
I'm speaking to the mic.
Face the audience.
All right. My name is Stanley Ba. I'm a producer director.
They are not hearing you.
That's why I'm using the microphone and they can't hear me. I think it's from the microphone. If I can have that one, that would be.
Okay, you can come now. Come.
Thank you.
Okay. Can get there.
All right. Thanks. All right. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Stanley Ba is my name. A producer director. I'm also former National Science Secretary, Actors Guild of Nigeria. Okay. I want to thank you. everyone here for what you've done so far. The question is this, because you asked me to go straight to the question. The issue, we have a lot of people here who are probably upcoming, and a lot of them want to know more about what we're doing. With everything we've said today, a lot of already existing producers probably understand this channel. But then, how are you ensuring you mentor the upcoming producers to have a better knowledge of where, when, and how they can get these facts right? So that if they're stepping into, go into production, they won't make the mistakes that every other person may have made. Because all you said here today, it's extremely correct. The issue of getting our jobs, making sure we can reach out to maybe people who can advertise prior to our production. I can remember a particular musical group, Dynamite Praise. They did a song, Akwaza, and they had this powder that they used in the video. If they knew they would consult the producers of that powder, they would have made a lot of money. But can you believe that this powder sold more than anything because people washed it, and they go to area market, they demand for Akwaza powder, which means we can go extra mile and get it. How can you mentor upcoming ones to understand this even much better? Thank you.
All right. Yes. Ajibo. Yeah, after.
Alex, thank you very much. Please just give me 1 minute. First, we're talking about production and how to make our money. My name is Steve Ebo. I'm a filmmaker. I produce. Now, let's talk about DVD and what Steve is saying. I'm a village man. In my village, a lot of them don't have these new things about online and all these things. They cannot watch film. So any film that I produce or that I'm part of the film and is to go to internet and all these things, none of my village people residing in my village will see it. Are you getting me? So my village people will be wondering, if this man is eating 3 times a day, what is he doing? He must be a non-businessman. Now, we cannot kill DVD because our people in the village depend so much on DVD to watch movies. But unfortunately, like Emeka rightly said, once something new comes, we jump straight to the new one. We don't care about trying to measure the new one and preserve the existing one. In the morning, something was said here. I think last Lord was here. It was something. He said something. The NTA died, and all the teledramas and everything in the NTA died because some government policy or one DG came up and now say Nigerian dramas. I mean, let's do something. He went to Caribbeans to bring us the Richo Sokra and all of them, and they killed our own drama.
All right.
So, sorry, please, sir. Just 1 minute.
No, we don't have time.
We need to preserve the old one, try to make up some lapses on that one, and equally go to the new one, because the new one will give us so much money. But don't forget, Alex, please, I want to beg you, before you do a cinema film, I have about 2 now. None of them is less than 80 million naira. Not 80 million naira. You go to cinema, before you finish everything with the cinema, as Chief rightly said, and they drive you here and there, BP will kill you.
All right, sir.
So please, I think what we should be talking is, how do we even make things easy for the producer to meet even the cinema people, and the condition is too much. Like he rightly said, it's not about them trying to recoup their money in one film.
Give the mic.
Because nobody recoups money in one release.
All right, then. Noted. Next person.
So many things to say, but let me not say all.
Move there. All right, questions.
Okay, good afternoon. And I want to stand on every existing protocol. So my first question will go to Mr. Osezwa. In the morning, you pointed out in Africa, 650 persons have access to the internet. And I quickly Googled. So I got to know that we have 1.3 billion people in Africa. So it means that you have 650 million persons who are not on the internet. So please tell us what happens to those 650 million people. Secondly, my second question to Mr. Emeka Ike. I agree with you totally on we moving so fast into adopting something very new. Please, can you give us practical, because I asked the question in the morning that Mr. Lancelot and Mr. Fidelis actually did not answer. And it is taking us back here again. Because I know that we actually need government policies, deliberate, intentional government policies to be put in place for these things to be addressed. And the only way these things can be addressed is if we have the right practitioners in those decision-making bodies. So can you please help us with these practical policies that can help us, track these events to make sure that we don't jump into a lacuna very soon again. Thank you very much.
All right, let's have the last question. The last question. Okay, the last two questions. Very quickly. One question each. Just come here, stay there. Thank you. One question each, please, quickly.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Remy Joshua.
Just
Please, my question, I'll have to be very fast. First is this. We talked about having our movies with, what's it called? Partnering with people, partnering with brands. Why is it that television stations, when you partner with brands, most times they will blur the particular brand that you've partnered with? It's an issue for us because most times when you end up shooting your movie, maybe you used a brand that you partnered with. When they get to that place, they'll tell you the brand did not pay them to advertise for them, so they will blur it. That's one. Then two, one issue we are having is this, because me, I'm a practical person, I'm in the field. Now, another issue we're having is this issue of selling to television stations. Once you finish your movie, you want to sell direct to Rock. Once you finish your movie, you want to sell direct to African Magic before you make your movie. Is what has killed the DVD. Because if you don't sell direct to Rock first, they will not see the film to watch on the TV stations. But when you first of all find a way and sell it in your DVD first before selling to Rock, DVD people will enjoy themselves. Even you where they sell for cinema, you will still enjoy yourself. Thank you very much.
All the things you need to do, maybe from scripting, how to be able to make money from the pre-production aspect. And then I try to observe the Coca-Cola brand passing by, and then I maybe go to them for sponsorship and partnership and all that. And then during the distribution, I'm also trying to make money out of it, just like what you said. For me to avoid that now, how do I balance the pre-production stage and then the distribution stage, just so I don't end up being like you, coming back to shoot again? So how do we balance the two now, the pre-production stage and then the post-production and also the distribution stage?
Okay. My own question goes in who is holding producers' money? Those that are holding producers' money. Producers' money. And again, I want to ask, producers, we have two producers. Is it, we have an independent producers and the executive producers. Now, number one, those who are holding the producers' money is piracies. And who are the piracies? Producers. Because, okay, now, DVD in the market. Who banned DVDs in the market? It's producers, executive producers, marketers. A business who are pirating movies.
Thank you. From the audience, there are some.
How do we institute institutions? Let me know. The guilds are all working to design what are the laws we are going to man. If you send yes, we need to should talk to our industry players. They need.
Thank you. Steve, a question was directed to you too. Yeah.
Joint report of African development surpassing bank. I think there are millions. Watching 1.4 million in Africa. The pop 650. They say I'm asking. I don't know. Definitely everybody can analytics. Get you understand their habits and other things and above with online. If I were such manager.
Tio, can you quickly just address specifically this question? The issue of you are into TV and all of that. The issue of
blurring the
TV blurring
on. And so the other people we still have question is, we should still respond to that man. It is within their rights to do so, at least shoot with the integrated brand.
Okay.
Then the TV, so at other times, the movie is broadcast. Piracy remains a challenge.
Who will come last? Alaji. Issue of mentorship of upcoming issue of mentorship.
Actually, he goes to opportunities. Develop your network to do it. Not that you wait on you to take the initiative.
Thank you. Give it to.
Because what I think your films to for the contacts in their pocket. That's what I think that young man is saying. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Yes, Chief. I would like you to address, in addition to whatever you want to address, some of the questions here. Somebody said the sales of our films to cable TV producers themselves are the pipe.
A total government was paying me Ekwansi, Professor Chidiba, Ogundiwe, and two others. But all I'm saying, you can tell you, if I talk about movie marketing, you can't see it in Philip Kotler. Philip Kotler will confuse you. After my MBA, I had no job. And I had my MBA at Enugu here. There was a beautiful video club in Okpala Avenue. By you car they enter, park their car, they go there to hire films. Send letters to agency. Number one, this was. Number one. Number two, when you say that you see pirates, the movies that CD that say is not doing well, go to Alaba Market. Go and see as marketing.
Thank you.
The other person said, who is taking beat professors in classrooms? It is only a frustrated small lecturer that looks prof operated that is not popular with. Make I do. Do you know that people in it? Can you imagine that?
All right, sir.
But if you are a smart producer, you run quickly to make your money and make profits and close your. You die quickly.
Thank you very much, Jagumolu, Aishif, Ainokushoro. Taking away from this as open is the money trail and publicity recorded and documented. Point in time, I believe, of the industry. So at this, with my panel session of movie content, thank you, sir, for your time. For Board of Trustees, motion picture practice, the first panel. I think you are in the third panel. Please, a round of applause for Cable TV owner. We appreciate you. Zuma, Steve Osezua, Steve panel to attend to today. So most of this revenue stream. President, the president of the Association of Nollywood, one of the pioneers, all just step out. Thank you very much.
Our esteemed, you're made welcome to. In this Zuma film agreement, can help have a chairman who the program we had. He is the ambassador. He left a message that he filmmakers for waste of time. Want to invite? Please come. Lelis Duka, if you're here, please come for this session. Now, film and video. Mr. Kumalo, please clap for his speech for forward. Mr. Alex Ayongo, please me. I am Mrs. for him. As a discussant, collaboration is we call treaties. Mr. Terence Kumalo, desk manager in charge. So he will talk about that.
Thank you. Hello. Okay, Mr. Victor Kayo bought the form for 2020. We sit down, please. Thank you. I think that important. Importance of hard currency, foreign input for your production. Foreign for this, for Amadokele Nigerian Film Corporation. Come, sir. Is this your first time? And so he's going to be talking. Since the beginning of they go to film and radio to shoot at the different policies. However, engage in a co-production, that is what is called an office of this instrument. But in the process of who don't know him, my good self, Zuka, umbrella body for all female. A founding can be up to 10 if it's
Mr. Moderator, if it's one organization, will always bodies, government bodies, to any say joint venture, to practice co-production partnership. There are many things benefit function in different. You are basically working embassy found out that they were making films, treaties, agreements, and on the continent, in Africa, good to have co-production. I know they had with Canada some years back in 2006 with the Canadian government over the years. So I think it's important to listen, and of course, so I will allow the.
Thank you, program here amongst you. I'm actually in love with faces I haven't seen in years and the NFC. Used by the Wade Foundation. It is not a non-governmental organization. It is actually a governmental organization. We are from a foundation for the Department of Sport, Development of Film and Television, Audiovisual Ecosystem is to collaborate with Austral sector, 3 provinces, Western Cape for Hollywood, other productions in the country, and the objectives of the foundation is to increase the number of South African films and promote those audience access, people trained in the industry. We are also tasked to and the expression of nature. It's development. We fund fiction and documentaries, all forms. We also have a equitable 3 to 5 theatrical and theaters a year. The first cycle is in May. The funding cycle is open. Applications which we evaluate every 6 weeks. And from a process point of view, and then did not meet. Now, in terms of co-productions, the countries, which are productions, account minimum benefits in those countries, and the pooling is to produce. And with Canada, 2007, 11, and we finally mentioned we've been in discussion for 97. Hotel Rwanda, Negros, film and television internet is spend of 10 production incentive, Industrial Development Corporation Fund, the various provincial film commissions, private funding, and broadcasters. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, and I look forward to engaging with you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kumalo. Like he noted, it's taken over 20 years. We were chasing them around in Canada and all over the world to come and sign treaty, but finally, Dr. Madeko made it possible. Thank you, MD, for your efforts. And mind you that the agreement with South Africa is not the only MOU that the NFC has in place today. In Jesus' name, Comrade Alex, body. The Secretary of the Board of Trustees. Everybody likes to come and stand.
Dr. Kumalo, for I greet Sir Fidelis. The paper, I think, experience and knowledge international. I believe this is justly because by my understanding, MOU we have been. Madu said operation as so. That's number one. Number two, the NFC itself as the NFC. With a view to look at South Africa too, all the attendants who begin to look at that. For those not way an MOU, which is other country co-production ways they do it to his countries to count for this thing. Particularly the producer, this by engaging, see the hit the ground running within the engaging industry, and so.
Excuse me, please, now, so that the debate can be more. So the Nigerian movie Ezra, but it was directed. Okay, we'll get to that. In the Yenega de Stallone, co-production. I should call him the hottest of enable. Dr. Victor Kai, Boja. In fact, like Victor, so I don't know. He was the president. Give us
until this time. Otherwise, no matter what you say. Dr. Mr. Kumar, some information which was right. The synergy mathematics or magic, there are lots of benefits on industry, and in South Africa, countries that they have would work with and craftsmen from outside anymore. You want, and for instance, in Joburg, every time you go to the Western, it is a destination that filmmakers are happy to come to, whether to make commercials or whatever, because the country has made it conducive. Because of the treaties that they have with these countries, they can come and feel at home. A lot of these issues come to play, and so you find that although Nigeria, the financial numbers, I think it's just about knowing the right thing to do. Some of the productions he mentioned, and countries that they have co-productions, which was Hotel Rwanda was a co-production by Bafana with the UK. Schoonheid Productions here may not really be enough to do so many funds there. Let's say you are attached to local, a producer, which is why what has just happened now, because I was talking with Faces for co-production. We don't even know anything about come down a little, but we haven't. Sometimes you can be very and oil. Yearning for all these years, France, as when we see the details, we can work with their producer because our technicians will work with their technicians. We can do the same with South Africa, now of the market in Nigeria. And then when we do co-production, it therefore means that a 100 and movie was grossing 600 million. Advantages as an industry, cap. Now the cap, I can talk with them already. We will meet. And with I don't know what it's artists. I'm just branches on that is, and we can go there. Don't worry. But the points and
thank you, Dr. Kai. As if it's not a big thing, we are permitted to be shown what it means co-production. Also invest on the number of foreign films that for that 5% tax. That is
MOU, whether legal semantics. They used to call it agreement. You're right. As formalities, it's not enforceable in court and all of that. But of course, you're talking about an understanding, a kind of a collabo between two people. So essentially, they are the same. But if you're now agreement that will be entered between two parties now, what has been entered is what should be entered, which is a co-production treaty between Nigeria and South Africa. Yes, first step. And one from South Africa. That is now not within the purview of NFC. That is for the film practitioners production treaty, which we have entered with South Africa, also has the mechanism, the co-production treaty. I'm sorry, the agreement that we go through, so to speak. I'm sure there'll be other engagements on it. Right there in that treaty, you with Nigeria or South Africa, you must, of course, you'll be a filmmaker. You must apply. There must be an application. You make an application down beside the treaty. We are quoted. You understand? You must make that application to us, telling us that you have this film to make, and then we'll give you that permission. You must, for you to take part of that treaty, be part of that treaty. That film must be approved by Nigerian Film Corporation, and it must also be approved by the National Film and Video Foundation of South Africa. That's what makes it official. So you cannot on your own call it an official, finalized by the federal ministry. Now, part of it also, show us your budget. You must bring your budget, your production budget. And inside that production budget, you must finance at least 10% of it. Partnership and technical partnership. The three of them go together. And you must show us, or rather, we would like to see before it's approved for you, what you have, your capability to go through what the film you want us to send to South Africa for approval. So all of those, you have a lot of parts to play. And like I was trying to explain, treaty is signed with South Africa. Okay. Recognize the presence of the Permanent Secretary of Federal Ministry of Information, in the person of Dr. Mrs. Ifeoma Dora Nyamutako. Please, a round of applause for her. You're most welcome, ma. Thank you so much. Yes.
Thank you so much, Madam, for that clarification. We will move into the next session, and the chairperson is here, our very honorable Permanent Secretary. I don't know if it's something in South Africa, but for us, Permanent Secretary makes things happen. Without Permanent Secretary, nothing can happen. They are the chief administrators of this session. Our time is far gone, because of the work that was going on here. No, two of you have to, you're in the next panel. So, what I'm thinking, no, there's no time. What I wanted to say is that, with most festivals, the conversation never really ends. So I think, let me invite my brother. What am I doing again now? You have said your wife. Okay. Mr. Stephen Imobio, the Apostle Monetized Film Festivals. Okay. Wait. Who else is there? I know. All right. So, may I now invite Dr. Mrs. Ifeoma Adora Anyanwutako to join us. She is the chairperson for this session and the Honorable the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Information. Yes, I read it. My wife's good there as well. You're welcome, madam. You're welcome. So, energetic medical doctor turned media person. MD, you should join us now. You can't leave madam alone now. Please. Festivals for greater efficiency. If you have looked at the program, for those who do not, the Nigerian Film Corporation is supporting the inauguration of Nigerian Film Festivals Association right here at Zuma Film Festival. Festivals are not just for merriment and celebration. Festivals are a legitimate platform, not just for the promotion of movies, but also for their distribution and marketing. Because there was no time, we did not discuss a very key element in co-productions. The role of festivals in this aspect, in co-production, in the complete exploitation of the film ecosystem. Therefore, in discussing this integration, Apolline. Oh, Madam Apolline, okay, my friend is here. So this is what we're going to talk about here. So before we invite Madam Permanent Secretary for her remarks, I would like to invite my very good friend, all the way from Ouagadougou, Madam Apolline Traoré, one of the most brilliant African female filmmakers today. I was there in October in Ouagadougou, and then in May. And when they invited her, she sent me a note and said, "Oh, they invited her." I said, "Oh, finally we can host you in Nigeria." You're welcome, Apolline. Good to see you. Thank you. Apolline Traoré is a highly, highly celebrated African filmmaker. Her films have been shown all over the world. She has been on the jury of many international film festivals. It's a great honor to have her here today. And we're very lucky. She's good in the US, so we didn't have to hire an interpreter. You know they're very expensive. And the budget is not big. Okay, so she's so good. No, let madam. Okay, fine. Please, so can we now, let me now invite our Permanent Secretary, Doctor, to come and make opening remarks. You're welcome. Please, a round of applause.
Our very dear, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I thank God for this opportunity to be here at this workshop in respect of the Zuma Festival 2022. Let me start by commending the MD of Nigerian Film Corporation, He's been working virtually day and night round the clock to ensure the success of this Zuma festival. And also kudos to the FCTA for the role they have played also towards the success of the 2022 Zuma Festival, which is holding here in the city of Abuja. The importance of film festivals cannot be emphasized. We know it creates job opportunities, it provides for economic growth, and a host of other benefits. So it's something we look forward to, and I'm so glad that the Nigerian Film Corporation has taken the bull by the horn, and they've made it an annual event that probably just that of last year because of the COVID-19 pandemic, and there was a slight disruption. Otherwise, they have been holding this on an annual basis. So kudos to them. I look forward to this workshop session, and I believe a lot is going to come out, a lot of takeaway is going to come out of this this current workshop session. So just sit back and relax, and you'll be getting more as the speakers begin to speak. Thank you very much.
Well, it's not really a deviation, but I think it's appropriate in view of the caliber of personalities in this workshop to invite the MD to just make a very brief comment, please. Managing Director, Nigerian Film Corporation, please.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, dignitaries who are here. I want to thank you for your patience, and we'll be making good progress because you value your time to us. Otherwise, we'll be speaking to an empty hall. The whole idea, the whole process is to integrate, to collaborate like some early speakers have been able to do, because we realize that by doing so, there will be more output, there will be synergy, and then we'll grow the industry, and then our young ones will be beneficiary of such output. And so today, experts are here who are going to look more in that direction. My responsibility is to create the enabling environment as NFC to ensure that there is such integration. And that is why today we have our friends and partners from Burkina Faso, from Kenya, from South Africa that have been here earlier on. They just left the stage, and many more. So there is great hope, and with your support and your patience, I believe that at the end of this session, we will have found some new openings that will encourage us to do more. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. The Republic of Burkina Faso, they are neighbors. It's a landlocked country. I've gone there not just by air, but by land. I couldn't go by sea because there's no sea route. However, it's a far smaller country than Nigeria, about 24 million, I think. But they have, or they used to have, the biggest film industry in Africa before we came. But the one that is not controversial is that they still have the biggest film festival in Africa. That is First Paco. In fact, in Africa, if you have not shown your film at First Paco, you won't really say much, because those that their films have been screened there, we talk louder than you keep quiet. Like I mentioned earlier, we're cineast, director. Our films have been shown in so many places all over the world, so she's in a very good position to address the subject of this workshop today. It is with great pleasure that I invite Madame Apolline Traore, please, to address us. You know, you won't say my English is not very good.
Oh, it's very good. Hello. It's a great pleasure for me to stand before you to talk about festivals and how important integration within festivals are for a filmmaker. I've been in this business for a little bit of more than 20 years. I don't look like it, but I'm old. I want to thank you, Dr. Shida, to invite me to this festival. It's not the first time in Abuja, but it's the first time at this festival. To the filmmaker that are here and all the industry makers, as my friend here spoke about FESPACO, it is, I think, the biggest film festival in Africa. And what we're trying to do right now is to try to merge those film festivals, those big film festivals like FESPACO, to a festival like Zuma. A lot of filmmakers are getting stuck with involving themselves in certain film festivals because we have the language barrier. But as you can know, and you should know, that film doesn't have a language. It's universal. And so it can go anywhere. What we're trying to do, just a little story, earlier we've talked about co-production. And there's a young Nigerian filmmaker that contacted me a couple of months ago who wanted to have money from OEF, which is an organization that gives money for French, but only French-speaking countries and French-speaking directors. And also he wanted to tell a story that will go from Nigeria through Benin all the way to Ivory Coast. And in most of his film, in that film, they speak French. And he doesn't speak French. So they contacted me so we can join forces to do this film. And then because of our co-directing join, he was able to get the money from the French, which is very important. That's one. And then with my collaboration, he was also able, he's working on it, he's going to be able to actually make a film that will speak French and English, which is one of I think it's the first collaboration between co-directing in the English world and in the French world. So this is really great, and I would like you to applaud to that. It's just to tell you how important for us, African, even if we have that, so we can show our work, so we can show how capable we are, and not only look for the festivals that are abroad. It's very important so we can actually know our film festival, to work with our film festival. And I think the festivals are one of the biggest platform for a young filmmaker, for even a big filmmaker, to show his work and show who he is and what he's capable of. And then do not be afraid of language barrier because, as I said, our stories today are universal. And also, to make a difference, when we talk about film festival, to make a difference also, an important difference between what you decide to put on your film as content. Because a lot of film festivals are also about content, are also about what you portray and what you want to talk about. Of course, we do have, as we call it, financial or commercial films, Hollywood, or should I say, blockbuster-like. So those film festivals usually look for very important content, how you help in the development of our continent. And those are very, very important. So I'm not going to talk more unless later on there's any question. But my role here and my coming here in the Zuma Festival is really to try to come and get an agreement with FESPACO and the Zuma Film Festival so we can have more film from Nigeria, and then also that we can have more Francophone film here in Zuma. I was a jury member. We had a lot of film from the Francophone filmmaking to festivals in the English country and then vice versa. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Apollo. I just posted a picture on that platform, the Seraph platform, Apolline in Abuja. Let me invite